everyone. Welcome to the information session for the Communication Leadership Program at the University of Washington. My name is Liao Zhao and am the head of outreach for the program. I'm joined today by our Assistant Director, Heather Werko, as well as several of our student ambassadors. We're so excited to have you. Yeah, student ambassadors, feel free to say hi. Yeah, we'll have a short interview with them later. Just a reminder that this is our final information session before the Round 1 priority deadline on January the 30th. So during today's session, we will share a brief overview of the program and application details. You will hear from our student ambassadors about their application experience, and then we'll move into a Q&A. So this will be the great opportunity for you to ask any questions that you may have about the application process and also about our program. Again, this session will be recorded and we'll share the recording via Eventbrite within 1 or 2 days after the event, so you can always refer back to it later. So now I will pass it over to Heather.
Hey, thanks, Leo. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I see we do have some international students in the chat from different countries. So I'm going to start out with some important information to share for international students joining our program. And the first thing is that all three of our degrees are designated as STEM degrees. So that means 3 years of OPT for students on an F1 visa that you can work after you graduate. So that's a great benefit of all three of our degrees. We're also a fee-based program, and that means that all students pay the same tuition. There's no non-resident rate for people outside of Washington, so that can also make it a lot more affordable than some programs that have different rates for residents and non-residents. Full-time students will typically graduate from the MCDM or MCCN degrees in 5 quarters. So that means those of you that will start this fall, autumn 26, would graduate in either autumn 2027 or winter 28. And then the MCCL is our longer degree that takes 6 quarters. So students starting this fall would graduate in spring 2028 with the MCCL. We do have about a third of our students are attending the program part-time while working full-time. So it is very flexible so that you can do that either for domestic students that just want to attend the whole program part-time, or often international students in their second year might get a full-time internship and then can use some internship credits and do that while they're working to have some flexibility. Our classes all meet on the evenings or on weekends so that you have those weekdays free for work. And then we also have a number of student part-time jobs available in the department and on campus in general. Within ComLead, we have our events coordinator here today, and then we have a number of student employees who help out with our program. So that's a great way to earn some money while you're also contributing back to your graduate program. We also have our consultancy that offers different positions each quarter that are funded as well. And for our domestic students, we are eligible for federal financial aid, so student loans, and the GI Bill for veteran benefits. So as Leon mentioned, our priority round deadline is January 30th. That is the deadline to be considered for our merit scholarships as well. That is just a part of our priority round decision process. No extra application needed for that, but only applicants who apply by January 30th are considered for those scholarships. And you can feel free to take your time working on your application. We won't start review until February 2nd. So we're not looking at those applications before the deadline. But if you haven't yet designated your recommenders, do that as soon as possible. You should typically do that at least 2 weeks before the deadline to give them time to submit before that deadline, since everything does need to be in by that date. Same with test scores. If you're someone who needs to submit English test scores, make sure you've already ordered those or ordered them as soon as possible if you haven't yet. So with that, I will turn it back to Liao, who will introduce you to some of our students.
Thank you so much, Heather. Yes, we're joined today by several of our student ambassadors. We have Ella, Matt, and Haley here. Anika is supporting us with the Zoom today, so thank you. So maybe I'd like to ask each of you to introduce yourself first, like including like where are you from, what is your degree check, and also a little bit about your backgrounds before you join ComLead. How about we start with Ella?
Sure, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Ella. I'm from China, and this is my second quarter here, and I already studied courses in audio storytelling, marketing, and also public relations. Before joining ComLead, I am a graduate student studying law, and I wanted to have a professional transformation. So I wanted to go to a degree here in ComLead. Right now, I also work as a part-time student assistant in ComLead in charge of event coordination and I really enjoy my time here so far. Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you, Ella. Matt,
Sure. Hello, Roy. My name is Matt. I'm originally from the state of Michigan. I moved here to Seattle in 2018. I am on the digital media track. My background is I have 10 years of learning and development experience and 5 years as a former YouTube content creator. For me, I chose communications because I saw it being a great overlap between learning development, what I used to do, and then where I want to go with my career, which is communications. Because at the end of the day, we're both trying to get people to remember and retain information. So I saw communication as being a great bridge for that.
thank you, Matt. Haley?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Haley and I'm from Taiwan, core 25, and I'm in digital media track. Before I joined ComLead, I have 2 years of marketing experience, and one is in in-house marketing at travel agency, and another one is digital advertising in food delivery industry. And I'm here to explore more about digital media strategy, and I want to know about more foundation of branding.
Thank you, Haley. Anika, do you want to share a little bit about yourself? And I will let you focus on the recording and Zoom support later. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Yao Meng. You can call me Annika, and I'm also from MCDM Digital Media Track, and I'm a cohort 25. It's my second quarter here. And in my undergrad, I was a marketing and communications major. So I came to here trying to explore more possibilities. So I tried video storytelling and also product marketing, trying to dive deeper. So I hopefully it will also be a good opportunity for all of you guys.
Thank you, Anika. So now I'd love to hear you to share a little bit more about how did you prepare for your applications, especially for the personal statements and also the short videos. That's where we have a lot of questions from our applicants. Matt, do you want to go first?
Sure. So for me, my application process, it took me a little over a month to get it done. So don't anticipate getting it done in a weekend. Definitely spend more time than just a weekend to get done. I really just started with just writing down my core values and my personal work experience. And I didn't try to limit myself to how many words, because that definitely can be something that can cause a little bit of anxiety. But just start by writing down who you are, what your core values are, where your experience comes from, and then relate that to the ComLead program. Once you get kind of like just get it all done down on paper, that's when you can start revising and make sure that what are the most important things I want to convey about myself, what is my focus and career goals I want to take it to. And then I took it to friends. I took my application to colleagues. I got their feedback. I got their input. And I think I waited maybe about till 3 days from when the application was due, because there's really no advantage to get it done early. So it's definitely more important to um, make sure you're comfortable with it. Make sure that you have your answers ready for the video. For the video, I think I took about 7 tries to do the video. So also don't think that the video is just one and done. I'll ask you if you want to redo it, because I think you have like a minute, which is again a really short amount of time to kind of introduce yourself. But you can redo it more than once. And yeah, I'd say take your time, make sure that you get feedback on it, and be proud of it. The UW program is a very awesome program. Everybody here and the community is really behind you and wanting to help you out. And yeah, well, it was stressful, but I'm extremely happy with the results.
Cool. Thank you, Matt. I like what you talk about in terms of video. Tried several times to record your session. Yeah. Haley.
Yes, for me, my personal statement, I think the biggest advice is to really think about why come lead. There are a lot of schools with similar programs, so what made this one stand out to you is really important, and what's something special about come lead that connects with your goals. And what can the program offer you? You can find a lot of helpful information on the Comlead website, so definitely spend some time exploring it and figuring out your own reasons. Make sure to clearly tell the faculty why Comlead is your top choice. I think to find a unique reason to connect to the Comlead is the key to the application.
Nice. Ella, how about you? How about your experience?
I first of all totally agree with you, Haley, that Comedy website has so many information that you can do research on. I really suggested check out first the class syllabus page, second the core value page, and third the consultancy page. You will find so many valuable information there. And second of all, for the writing part, I would say just craft your own unique story. I feel like Comedy not only value media related experience, but also welcome people from other background coming in. I'm coming from legal background. I have friends coming from an education background, coming from engineering background, and we are all here in Comly. So to show your own story, show your own uniqueness, and if Comly welcome you to join in, welcome everyone to join in. So I just wanted to mention that. Just don't be afraid that your story isn't special. I mean, like as long as you're telling your own thing, that you are shining, you are special. Yes.
I love that, Ella. Yeah. So before we move into the Q&A, maybe I would let each of you share one or two application tips here. Who want to go first? Feel free to unmute yourself. Matt, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say definitely one of the big things is to follow up with your recommendations. My friends are amazing, and the employers that I also saw through recommendations were amazing. But it got towards the end, and I had to give them a little friendly nudge, be like, "Hey, I need you to reply. I need you to follow up these recommendations." So be sure to just be aware of that. It's kind of one of the few things that you don't have control over. And most people will understand the importance of it, but it is also your responsibility to make sure that those are getting done.
Haley?
Yeah, I have two small tips. One is take a look at the course list and pick 2 to 3 classes you are genuinely excited about. You don't need to go into too much detail, but briefly mentioning what you hope to learn from those courses can really help. And another tip is about a short video. Just be yourself, try to relax, smile, and maybe use a few gestures like this one. And the animation team watch a lot of videos a day, so a friendly smile and positive energy can really help you stand out.
Any other? Okay, go ahead, Ella.
I would probably like say something about personal statement because it's the material that I spend most of my time on. I would say just please check your grammar mistakes. Like find some website to polish your grammars to make it more readable for the admission office. Yeah, that's very, very important. If you have American friend, if you have a native speaker friend, yeah, just let him or her take a look for you. You know, that is very, very helpful for your material. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Uh, Anika, do you have any additional that you want to add?
I want to add on the video part. So I feel it's a part like you will find it's like so easy to finish, or you will find it's very time consuming. But I would say it's a very important chance for you to shine and to show to the officers like how special are you. So be yourself and prepare your real life stories and related experiences is so important, and we want to hear from you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anika. I hope that the application tips that our student ambassador shared could address some questions that you may have, but you may still have more. So let's now move on to the Q&A part. A quick note here, like, so if you want to ask questions by yourself, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask directly since we are a small group today. Or if you're a little bit shy, and you can just send them in the chat and I will ask them for you, not a problem at all. And we'll go in the order we've received the questions. So let's see. I will let you write down your questions or feel free to unmute yourself.
I know one thing I can add real quick
Mhm.
is talking to other prospective students in our open house or through LinkedIn. One of the questions that came up often was, how do I focus my application? Like, where do I start? How do I even begin? And the message that I heard repeatedly was, think about how the CommLead program will help you be successful, because one of the great things about the CommLead program is very much a community. It's alumni, it's faculty, it's current students like myself and the ambassadors have joined us today. And we're really all here to help you be successful. That is the driving force behind what everybody does. A lot of our faculty are part-time, they have full-time jobs, and yet they still also teach at the school. And being able to really vocalize what you're looking to get out of the CommLead program, and in particular the track that you're seeking, will really help the people reviewing your application to make sure that they will have the tools to help you be successful. Because at the end of the day, it's a two-way street. It's just as important for all of us here to also make sure that we're going to help you be successful. So I think that's a really good lens to look at your application through, is to really have that goal in mind and be able to vocalize it through your application.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you, Ella, for sharing our student ambassadors link in the chats. So after our session today, and if you still have questions about your application and before the round one deadline or round two deadline, feel free to connect with our student ambassadors online through LinkedIn. Okay, we'll let you take another minute to write down your questions.
We can also talk about, like, well, I can share if the other ambassadors want to share as well. But I'm happy to talk about kind of like what my career goals are and why I'm looking through the communications program.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I'm looking for more of like communication strategy or leadership communication. With my experience in learning development, one of the things I really excelled at was being able to clearly communicate, like gap analysis, which is basically you kind of see where a breakdown in the process is, maybe just instructions aren't clear, or maybe the why behind a process has to be done, is a lot of like the course development I did. So with communications, I see that being as a bridge of like where I want to look at next. I want to help local governments, you know, help with their messaging to communities and organizations. I want to maybe work in tech and help leadership be able to communicate through internal communications and really help be that driving force behind having just clear communications, being able to express messages in a way that the audience will be able to latch onto, and really just be part of those strategy meetings that come from having a background in communications. My current class I'm taking is future scenario planning, which is a really cool class. And it really focuses on not just long-term like goals and strategies, but long-term strategies of like what could happen with the future. And I think having those kind of skills will really play into a lot of being a communicating leader.
Thanks so much, Matt. Also, like we have come into several questions, so maybe we can start the questions from there. So Zishen has a question about how big is the cohort typically every year, Heather?
A very common question that comes up. How many classmates am I going to have? So this past year, the cohort that entered was, I think final number was about 120 29 students who started in cohort 25. Year before was about 116. So I know the goal for the program is typically around there, like 115 to 130 students in the incoming cohort, and that's across all 3 degrees. And in order to reach that, we tend to offer about twice as many offers of admission. So around 300 applicants will get an offer in order to reach that final number coming into the program.
Thanks. Yeah, we're growing fast every year. And
Thank you.
then Leticia.
Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
if I can, then I don't know if there's something that you guys can disclose. How many applicants will we receive for the 130 to 40 cohort size every year?
Yeah, we never know until the application deadline because a lot of people submit, 11:30 p.m., right before. But we tend to get around 600 or so applications each year. It goes up every year, so we'll see what happens this year.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks. And then Leticia has 2 questions. One is they're both about application related. One is, do I need to have my diploma officially validated in order to apply, or is calculating and submitting my GPA is good enough? And another question is, does video need to follow a specific format? I think for the first question, Heather could answer that. Yeah, both actually.
Yeah, so for UW's graduate school application only requires unofficial transcripts. So that can be like a printout from your school's portal of like your academic history, or you can upload, a scan of an official transcript. As long as it shows the classes you've taken, the grades received, and any degrees that have been granted, that should work. And it originates from your university. So we don't, and it has to be in English. That's the other thing, as long as it's in English. So if you're coming from, say, another country where you can't get that issued from your school, then you would need to go through, an official translator who could certify a translation in English for that. But we don't need any kind of official evaluation. Like a lot of people ask about the WES evaluation, that is absolutely not required. If you've had it done, feel free to upload it, but it's not required at UW.
Thanks, Heather. So the next question comes from Jean, and can I add some pictures in my video? I think the answer is you don't need to, because for your video statement, what we really want to see is your storytelling and presentation skills. So it's not necessary to add pictures. But how about like other student ambassador? Like, how did you work on your video? Like, I think we'll more focus on the content, but if you want to share a little bit strategy about your video statements, that would be helpful.
I think the tricky part about the video essay is that it had time limits. For this year, it's like 90 seconds. I would suggest you to write a script first and practice for several times before you film this videos. And I don't do any editing for my videos. I probably film it for 5 times and I pick the best shot. Yes, and I don't put any subtitles. It's just like a very very plain video, and I think that's enough.
Thanks, Ella.
I
Kelly?
think another thing can put on your videos. I choose a postcard to like show your personality, and I think another like previous student like prepare some little stuff, cute stuff that can really show your personality. I think that will be helpful.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm so sorry. Let me interrupt because I think I don't want to cause confusion for the people here, and I think I'm misremembering. With the video essay, was it that we submitted it, or is it that the webcam recorded your response?
No, you upload a video. There's
Okay.
other programs have like a different format for that, but you just upload an MP4. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So, because I responded, I just want to make sure I'm giving the right information and and yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Yeah. And one tip that I would say when you prepare for your video, Elsie, it's okay, like you have a script or you have a reference notes, but just remember, don't rate the script from the beginning to the end, because we can really tell from the screen. And when you watch your recording, you can tell as well. Like we see your rating not telling a story or not communicating with us. Think about like we are more like an interview or people to ask you questions, and you are doing an interview with us, so we can see you, like how you communicate and how you talk. That's important to make it interactive. Yeah. Um,
I'll
Heather.
chime in on kind of related to the video, Letitia's second question about the format. It really doesn't matter if it's horizontal or vertical, but just so you know, when the reviewers are looking at your video, it's presented to them in a horizontal format. So it'll make your video smaller if you do it vertically. So if you want them to see like more of your face and get a better view, then I would record it horizontally so that it'll show up the same as the viewer that they're looking at.
Cool. Thank you, Heather. Sarah, okay, I think we can now move into the next question from Sarah. Thank you for hearing about the tips. So she's interesting to know all programs are STEM designated, and she's curious to know what makes them so. So our program is STEM, which means like we have 3-year OPT, and we certainly have many courses are related with technology. Heather.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading someone else's question while here.
No
So
worries.
the zip code that our programs are under in the list, of STEM designated is digital. It's called like the digital media and multimedia, something like that. So that's why our programs are STEM, is because we are, at the core list multimedia, digital media program, even though the new degrees don't have that in their name anymore. The foundation of the curriculum is still considered similar enough that that's what the registrar's office designated all three as, is that digital media and multimedia zip code.
And then let's move back to our student ambassadors. In terms of class that you are taking, and what is your favorite one so far? So maybe that will be helpful for our applicants to get a taste of what our program look like.
I can talk on our first class. So the first class that you'll take for your first semester is the 5-1 class, and that is a class that you'll share with your whole cohort. So as Heather mentioned, our class had 129 students. But in that class, you'll learn more about the program. You'll learn a little bit about AI. You'll have 4 group projects that you'll work together with different groups. I thought it was super cool. I got to meet students from all over the world, and I got to hear a lot of different people's backgrounds. And yeah, it was just a really great way to get introduced to the CommLead program. And you get to meet all your peers. It was really fun.
For me, it's audio storytelling. I chose this course at first quarter, and in CommLead we have the podcast called Leading the Way. And before I came into CommLead, I listened to this podcast every week because when I first came to Seattle, there are nobody in Seattle, so I feel really lonely. So I keep listening to a podcast from CommLead, and it really comfort me. So I choose this class at my first quarter, and at the end of the class, I do a final project about how international students to deal with loneliness, because we living abroad, we feel loneliness sometimes. So I interviewed 2 of my friends who is international student too, and they tell me how they deal with their loneliness and how they to find their new friends here. So I think this class is really interesting for me. And at the end of class, I think I don't feel that much lonely. So I think that process is really healing for me.
Oh, that's awesome to know. Yeah. Thanks so much, Ellie. I hope like you get some new friends after you, join CommLead. Because CommLead, we always say like we're a big family, and we have monthly, weekly events all the time in person and online. So for example, like every month we host like a first Friday where our students, alumni, faculty, and staff community could join together, and we sometimes highlight an industry topic, and sometimes we highlight a company. So that's a great event that students could connect with each other, but also support each other, talk with each other. So definitely, like we look forward to having you join ComLead. Yeah. Ella, what is your favorite class so far?
I think it's the same with Haley because we attended audio podcast together, and that's also is because of this class we became friends. Basically, built my friend circle in that class. I also joined the Leading the Way podcast as a guest speaker
Mm.
for the international student episode that probably will be on air in March. I don't know. But really recommend everyone to check out Leading the Way. It's a wonderful podcast talking everything about ComLead. Yeah, I love that class so far. This quarter, I'm taking crisis communication and digital marketing. Actually, I have digital marketing class like 30 minutes after this info section, even though it's a night class, but I really, really much enjoyed it. The professor comes from a very, very rich marketing background and literally teach us how to do a marketing campaign from 0 to 1. And yeah, I think so far I have really very like good experience taking the classes in Complete and also just enjoying my life in this big community with different events.
Yeah, I think we have the podcast series available on our ComLead YouTube channel. So if
Yeah.
you can follow ComLead YouTube channel, you can listen to our podcast series. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
Cool.
Heather, for promoting leading the way. I think Jess
Oh
will be so
yeah.
happy.
I will share the link shortly. Anika, how about you?
So I would recommend the video storytelling course, as I mentioned. So last quarter, I took the foundations of video storytelling, and it was a really amazing class because the professor, he is our alumni of our ComLead program, and also he has a YouTube account, and also is a head of a video company. So he has so many very practical and real client experiences to share with us. And we have 3 video projects. So you need to do everything from the very beginning. So it's very practical, and you can really apply what you learn. And the client I chose was a company in Hong Kong I worked with. So it really combined my marketing knowledge into this video creating process. So I feel it's really like fulfill my skill set. And this quarter, I'm taking the advanced video course, and my teammate is Matt. So we're working together and really to communicate with real client in Seattle. So I feel it's a very good series of class to enjoying the beauty of video creation.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, Jacob's class is so popular at ComLead's video storytelling. Cool. We now get a new question from Haiyan. And Haiyan would like to ask whether there may be an opportunity to be considered for an application fee waiver. Well, Heather just replied.
I just put the link to the UW Graduate School application fee waiver policy as a response to Hyan. Unfortunately, it is very limited. So any student who's going to be attending on an F1 or J1 visa is not eligible for an application fee waiver. It's just very specific groups that are eligible.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I got another question still related to our video. Like, what are you looking for the video that is not already in my resume? Heather to talk about it first, and then our student ambassador could add on.
Yeah, so we actually changed the video prompt for this year. Heads up to our ambassadors if you haven't noticed that yet. So you have a few options for the video. So when you look at the prompt, it'll tell you, choose one of these 3 things to talk about. So you can look at those prompts and decide, which one you have the best story to tell about, and which one kind of resonates most with you, which you feel like you can showcase your storytelling skills with that. So you're just choosing one of those three, and as you mentioned, it's only 90 seconds. So it's just a quick answer where you're describing that day or that moment, depending on what you choose at that time that you learned something. So I would say just pay attention to the prompts. Make sure you're just answering one, because again, you only have 90 seconds. So don't try to do more than one. That'll also make it a little scattered. And yeah, just follow that. As Liao said, it's really just like an interview. So imagine we were just having a conversation over Zoom, and this was a question that I asked you. How would you respond? And that's what the committee is looking for.
Yeah. Thanks, Heather.
And
Oh, it's good to know. Yeah.
and I would say to add to that, storytelling is weaved so much into the communications program that when you answer their question, try to keep in mind that you're also painting a picture about yourself. So as Heather said, lean into the storytelling aspect of it, share who you are, and just be honest. Like, we're all here for your success. We all want you to succeed. And you might be a little bit nervous about it, but we all got your back.
Cool. Thank you. Got a question from Samson. And Samson is an international student and met the English test score, but lack of confidence in writing and speaking. So Samson is curious to learn if got a minute, are there any courses available to students like me to improve my weakness in speaking skill and writing skill? Good question. Student ambassadors, what is your answer if you're an international student?
First of all, I think we have classes in content writing, copywriting, and public speaking. That would be very, very helpful. Um, and second of all, I feel like once you kind of immerse in this English speaking atmosphere, you would just naturally make a lot of progress along the way. So also like you're not alone. Like you are not alone. I think Comly has such a big international student community or right, so much diversity here. So you are not alone in this. And we're just basically learning by doing, learning by doing. That's what we do. Yeah, and also UW has career and internship center that probably can help you like revise or polish your resumes, your portfolio. That could be also very helpful resources. And also Comly Consultancy has so many mentors that you can reach out to if you have some problems with your English, like English resumes or English materials. Yeah, so I feel like no worry, no worry. After you arrive here, you'll get better and better. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Ella. And if you immerse in this atmosphere, you will must improve really quickly. And we have the club called Circle. It's a club for international students. So you can practice English every week, every Wednesday. And actually, I go to that club and to talk to people and attend the event as much as you can and talk as much as you can. I think you will improve very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, these are good
Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah.
And I added a link in the chat to UW's English program has a graduate school preparation program that is an optional program open to anyone entering grad school in the US. That's a 4-week program in the summer. We've had a number of ComLead students do this, and it's just it happens in August, and you can sign up to do that and come early. And it helps you learn about the norms in US classrooms, about discussions and like office hours, how to talk to professors, how to talk to your classmates, how to have the confidence to raise your hand in class because you're expected to do that in grad school and you're expected to just participate in discussions. So that has been a really helpful option for some students to just kind of take that before they start their first fall quarter, so they feel more confident coming in.
True. You will get there after you arrive in Seattle. Yeah. So Nancy has a question. How many classes can one take in a single quarter? Is there a strict limit to the number of classes? Depends on if you're a full-time or a part-time student, right, Heather?
Yeah, so full-time status at UW, because we're on the quarter system, is 10 credits per quarter for graduate students. So that's sometimes surprising for people coming from semester schools. That's typically 2 classes per quarter. That is full-time graduate status at UW. So that is really what everyone should be taking, is 2 classes and 10 credits. After your first quarter, we do allow students to take up to 13 credits. So that's 130% of full time if they're like trying to graduate early and are in a rush to get through the program. They can do that up to 13 credits. More than that, you will get many emails from me saying you're overloaded, you need to drop classes. And that's for your own, well-being and for your own academic success, because you really shouldn't be overloading. That can limit your ability to participate in all of our career events, our First Fridays, and the different consultancy opportunities, everything else that you should be doing outside of classes in order to get the most out of the program. But also, it takes spots from other students. So we figure out how many spaces we need in classes based on how many students are in the program. And if you overload, that's taking someone else's spot in that class. So multiple reasons why it's not a good idea to take too many.
Cool. How many classes like are each of you taking right now, Ella, Matt, and Haley?
I'm only taking 10. And I'll say also to add on to what Heather was saying, uh, 10 classes or 10 credit hours, that's I probably spend maybe about 15 hours a week on those classes. So definitely don't underestimate how much time that you'll spend in class and outside of class. And if you're like me and Annika, who took video storytelling, you're probably taking 10 hours a week extra just in that class for like filming and editing. Um, and then also, yeah, there's tons of events that you can go to that are, I'd say almost every other week, you're looking at probably another 3 to 4 hours attending those events. So I've also heard from a lot of students who want to take 10, more than 10 credits, but I think once you get into the program, you'll be like, yeah, 2 classes is enough to keep me busy.
I take 2 classes, 10 credit. I think it's enough for me because I will take a lot of time to watch the video and to read the reading material. So it take a lot of time, and also you have to take time to do research and finish your assignment, especially if you have group work. It will take a lot of time, more than you think.
For me, I took 12 uh, 12 credits this quarter. I took took 10 credits from Comly, and then I took 2 credits, 2 credits from drama school of drama, because we're allowed to take 5 credits outside of Comlead. I know some students take classes from Foster Business School, but I'm more interested in theater, so I took a stage management class. I'm the only graduate student there, but I feel happy taking that class.
Oh, that's a good choice. Yeah, to take some
Yeah.
credits from other school. Annika, how many credits are you taking this quarter?
I'm taking 10 because I also have this student role. But last quarter, which was also my first quarter, I used to have the ambition that I feel like I am going to take 3 courses, which is 15 credits. But I got to know that if you want to follow the timeline and the course design of each quarter, like how many credits should you take, and to be graduate on the normal like the timeline. So you should do it like 2 courses a quarter is enough. And also the course load, because we have so many team projects and they are very time consuming. It's not like only the time you spend on class. It's more like the time outside of the class, you're going to have a lot of meetings with your teammates. These are so practical and it needs you to spend a lot of time on it. So It's like believe me, it's enough workload.
Thanks, Annika. Sarah asked a question like, what classes can we take from other schools? Could you please elaborate on that? I'm interested in what Foster offers as well. So first, I will let Heather to talk about policy, and then Ella, you could continue to talk more about your classes from other school.
Yeah, so all CommLead students have the option to take up to 5 credits outside of the program from another UW department. The only limit on that is that it needs to be at least a 400 level class. So at UW, that's a senior level class, or 500 level, which is a graduate class. So, for example, you couldn't take like French 101 would not apply towards a graduate degree. I mean, you could take it, but it's not going to count, towards your degree if you wanted to do something like that. So yeah, other than that, we don't put any limits on it. A lot of other departments, though, will have their own policies on how you can register if you're not a student in that department. So sometimes they're very strict and say, nope, we don't let anybody outside of our students take those classes. Sometimes there's a waiting list you have to get on, or you can't register until the first week of the quarter. So it really varies by the program and department as to what their rules are. But for CommLead, just 5 credits, 400 level or above, and then it's kind of free game.
Thanks, Heather. Ella, do you want to talk a little bit more about your experience about taking classes outside CommLead?
I think there are two reasons why I do this. The first one, I'm interested in theater. Second of all, I want to meet students outside of CommLead, outside of the communication department, just kind of make some connections for my future work. Yes, I would suggest you to do so if you're like very interested in this, and I do believe that foster school classes would be a good idea. Yeah, because business kind of related to marketing, kind of related to communication. Yes, but just probably don't take some hardcore class like CS, right? I believe like CS probably not a good choice.
And if you're from an engineering background, probably that's a different story. Maybe you can take. Yeah. Okay, I think we cover all the questions that we have here. We still have a few more minutes, so we'll certainly stay around if you come up with more questions. And meanwhile, feel free to connect us via comlead@ujob.edu email if you come up with any questions after the event. And also, just let you know, we still have a few more upcoming admissions events, student ambassador Q&A, where you can speak with our student ambassadors. We have 14 student ambassadors in total, so probably you'll meet some different student ambassadors in that session. And also, we have 2 more info sessions for round 2 application. You're welcome to join us. Okay, so Zushen has a question. If my university doesn't provide 4.0 scale GPA, what is the best way for me to convert grades and do translation at the same time?
A great question, because I have to do a lot of those calculations too. So within the application, when you're entering in your prior schools, when you're entering your GPA, there is a little help link there that you can click that has instructions for how to calculate your GPA from another school that doesn't use the 4.0 system. So I would say use that help link. Believe it also might send you to Scalaro, scalaro.com, which is the recommended GPA calculator, because it has GPA scales from hundreds of countries in universities around the world. So you can kind of find your school or your country in there in order to do that. So yeah, just using a calculator, following those instructions, and make your best effort at entering that, knowing that we are going to double check it probably later. So we'll catch it if you were a little off, but you do need to try something, like do your best to try to calculate it and enter it there.
Thank you so much, Heather. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you good luck with your application, and we'll stay around for another minute if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great day, whatever in your time zone. Maybe it's in the morning, in the noon, or in the afternoon. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck. See you in Seattle. Oh, April is also joining us today. So just want to say that April is our student assistant for Chinese outreach. So we do have a WeChat group for 2026 application group. So if you want to join WeChat group, April, could you please share our WeChat group ID here? Or maybe you can share our ComLead WeChat ID there. And April could add you to our WeChat group for 2026 application.
Also, a company has RedNote account. Yeah.
Oh yes, you
Free
can
to
follow us
follow
on
us. Yeah.
RedNote as well. And we're working on our Taiwanese accounts. Oh yeah. Thank you, April. And Heather is sharing the QR code. Thank you so much, Heather.
Hopefully that's still the correct one. I got that from our website.
Oh yes, yes. Always the same. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us.